Wrestling POV content may not be suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV content may not be suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised.
Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Wrestling POV Global, brought to you by the evil technology of Cybertron. That's right, it must be because we have gone through a lot of crap to even get this far into the show. I'm your host, the legend, but yet befuddled by computers, T. James Logan, and with me, my hopefully hasn't drunken himself into a stupor since he's been waiting for me for so darn long. We're talking about the gentleman himself, Elio Canella. I am so sorry, but I have been under attack by the Autobots. I guess not the Autobots. What are the bad guys?
The Decepticons.
Okay, right there, Decepticons. That's got to tell you you're not good if you're a Decepticon. Oh my goodness! Names mean a lot. You know, Elio, have you ever read Green Lantern?
I've seen the movie.
Okay, his big bad guy is named Sinestro. What the hell was his parents thinking naming him Sinestro? Nothing good was going to come out of that. I mean, hey, should we call him Nice Guy? No, let's call him Sinestro. Yeah, he's gonna grow up to be a priest. Anyhow. Folks, welcome to another edition of WPOV Global. As you can tell, I'm just a little bit miffed by our technology today. But it's recording. Hopefully this show gets done. Anyhow, Elio,
yes,
how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Well, you know what, Elio? We are coming to the end of this year, and we've been together now almost. Well, it's been over a year, haven't we? Have we done a year's worth of project together here yet?
Last week was the 1 year that I've been on this show.
Yowzer. And you know what? It's been a good ride, and you know who's also celebrating a big milestone? Our sister program, WPOV.
Yes.
200th episode coming up.
And you know, I was off by a week because I employed Steiner math. If I had done canola math, I would have had the exact date.
Did you say canola or
canola math?
Canola. Okay, because canola math has to do with like cooking oil or
math.
something. I'm not sure if you really want to. I don't think you want to do canola math. Anyhow, one thing that we've learned, wrestling fans, in 200 episodes is one thing that was made abundantly clear last week on WWE Raw. No, that Tony Diaz does in fact suck.
Oh.
And we want all of you fans to know that all of us here at WPOV Global, we concur. Tony Diaz does in fact suck. Is that not right, Elio?
That's the word going around. Yep.
That is the word going around, and we're not trying to be mean. No, we're just saying what the masses say, Tony.
Agreeing with everyone.
Yeah, don't kill the messenger, man. Kill the message. Maybe quit sucking so hard, Tony, and then maybe that won't be such a thing. Anyhow, you know what? There's been a lot of stuff going on in wrestling, as always. It seems like from this year to last year, all of a sudden there's a hell of a lot of wrestling, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
And even since we've reduced some of the shows that we were covering, like we stopped covering Impact and ROH, we still have a crap load more than most people can watch wrestling still going on, and we're not even covering WWE except for NXT UK. So I gotta say, man, it's interesting stuff going on this week. The only bit of news of note that I want to bring up, we're not going to talk about ACH and his crap and MLW. That stuff's dumb, okay? Whatever the heck is going on in that guy's head.
No, that guy. Anytime that guy's on my Facebook, I just scroll by.
Yeah, it's just a waste of time. However, big news coming out of MLW. They released Teddy Hart.
Yeah, apparently due to multiple incidents with him no showing events.
Yeah, lots of stuff. He he put a post up on Twitter talking about how he felt very snubbed, not backed by MLW. involving a case up here in Canada where his ex-girlfriend is considered a missing person right now. And there was some accusations against perhaps him. He's been cleared of anything, but he felt very slighted that MLW did not back him publicly with any of this.
Oh, wow.
So that's what he is saying, what his estrangement's been. And so there's a lot going on there that obviously folks were probably never really going to be privy to.
How long do you think it's going to be till we see him in AEW?
You know what? That one wouldn't surprise me. I can tell you where he's not going to end up. He is not going to end up back in WWE, folks. You know, I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is the chance for NXT to sign him." It'll be his fourth go-around. He's had 3 go-arounds with WWE. You can only push them so far before you become pretty much untouchable.
Every time someone leaves, it's just a matter of time before one of these people in the IWC say, "Oh, it's only a matter of time before he goes to AEW." It's like, oh, okay, you know what? Not everyone's going to end up in AEW.
Now, I'm going to give you a quick trivia question, Elio. Back in the day when Teddy Hart was first wrestling with TNA at the time, back when it was, TNA, he got into a altercation in a restaurant with another wrestler. Do you know who that wrestler was that caused him to be let go by TNA?
No idea.
It was, in fact, CM Punk.
Oh, wow.
Back before Punk was a big name. Yeah, you go look that up. Him and CM Punk got into some kind of verbal disagreement in a shoving match. We're talking back.
That must have been way before I started watching TNA.
Probably. It was like in the beginnings of TNA, back when CM Punk was not barely anything.
Yeah, we weren't getting it here yet.
Yeah, it's kind of addictive of the career of Teddy Hart. I gotta say, one of probably the hands down the best wrestler I've ever seen in my life. The man has got so much talent, it's crazy. However, as much talent as he has, he also carries a hell of a lot of baggage that really makes him, he was upset at MLW and he cost them a lot of embarrassment. You know that when we were bitching about the Mexico thing they did with Crash?
Yeah, sure.
They did a couple episodes.
All those bad shows that they had down there.
Yeah. Now, that was a bit of embarrassment from MLW because Teddy Hart was advertised as one of the main draws for it, and he no-showed totally the whole events.
Oh, that was how one of that was some of the incidents. Okay.
Yeah, there was those are some of them.
Yeah.
So it's a sad thing. I really thought maybe Teddy had turned a corner here. I had hoped that maybe he had learned his really improving as a wrestler, like really improving out there.
They gave him the championship.
Yeah, I mean they put a belt on him. They made a focal point of MLW wrestling, and I don't know where he goes from here. Okay. Yeah, let's say he goes to AEW. What is he, another cog in the wheel? I mean, there's already 10 guys at the top of the card already. WWE is not going to touch him. ROH fired him too. Did you know he was fired by ROH at one time?
I did not know that.
ROH, one of their big scramble matches, after losing the match, he proceeded to climb the cage and repeatedly jump off the top of the cage onto people on the outside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Teddy, very volatile guy. Now, one thing I will say about Teddy Hart, I do know him personally, and he is a really gentle soul. He's a very nice guy, but he really can get wrapped up into the world around him. And when he gets like that, he is not the nicest of guys to deal with. At his heart, he's a good man. Okay. But he's very hard to deal with, for businessmen. I've never had a problem with Teddy Hart since the first moment I met him, and I've dealt with him quite a bit. I've never had a problem with him, but I can name you many people that I personally know who have had major problems with Teddy Hart. So I really just hope, Teddy, wherever you end up, you've got that tremendous skill, and I think it would be extremely sad if that's not showcased somewhere. So hopefully Teddy lands on his feet. Well, he always seems to land on his feet. He hasn't been hurt yet. But hopefully he lands on his feet in this sense and goes on. Now, folks, we decided this week not to actually run a poll. We were going to run a poll. We were going to talk some yada yada. Forget all that junk we talked about because we never put the poll up. And the reason why is because we're currently running our hockey style matches of the year. We went into the vault. We pulled all those matches. Now, before we get too far into stuff, let's talk about those matches. We're going to tell you now, this is the first round. We have 8 matches. At the end of what we're going to talk about here, 4 are going to go on. And at the end of the year, we're going to tell you the winning match. Now, the winning match, now we're deciding, me and Elio are deciding what matches, because this is our point of views. And along the way, folks, if you have agreements or disagreements or think we missed something, by all means comment, and we will read your comments, okay? Unless they're stupid, and then we'll laugh at you and delete your ass, okay? That's just the way we roll. But what we will do is just before Christmas, before we announce what that final thing is, we are going to put up a poll with the last final 2 matches to determine which of the match. We're going to let you folks vote. Now, I'd like to say your vote means something. It really doesn't. Unless me and Elio cannot agree on the final match, we will take your guys' into consideration, and the match that gets the most votes by you fans may sway us. But that's only if the event of a tie, okay? So, Elio, let's go in right now. Let's look at these 8 matches that we have signed up. Let's see what's the first 2 matches, and let's discuss what we thought was the match to go on.
Okay, so the first 2 matches we have are, let me just pull them up here. We have Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay and Tyler Bate versus Walter from NXT TakeOver Cardiff.
Ooh, okay, I'm going to start off with this round. In my vote, and we discussed this already, folks, we decided that these were both very good. Of course, all these matches were good. They wouldn't be in the vault if they weren't, okay?
Yeah.
But
I don't put crap in the vault.
But the match that we felt was the better match of these 2. And trust me, this one match, the Tyler Bate versus Walter match, was a very strong, solid, marked the beginning of Walter's and Imperium's start in UK. However, Will Ospreay versus Okada, I mean, we're talking like 2 of probably the best wrestlers out there, just really showcasing it at a high rate. It was
that was a great match, especially when they were like all the way like at the entrance ramp, and like Ospreay or Okada, one of them was like right on top of that entrance. They jumped.
It was a really good match. Maybe some people might thought it'd be a little crazy, but it was one of those matches. Like, I've seen matches where you see some incredible spot and you think that was cool, but the rest of the match doesn't stick in your mind. This match, from beginning to end, was a very solid, enjoyable match. You can sit back and watch this 40-minute match and be like, "Wow," you know. Or this was the G1 Climax one. This one was like, it was less than 20 minutes, but it was something really good, and it was special. And I would suggest fans check it out. Tyler Bate versus Walter, really good. Did not make it to the second round. All right, what's next, Elio?
Next, we have Austin Aries versus Teddy Hart from Saturday Super Fight, and Kenta versus Tomohiro Ishii from Super J.
Now, we discussed this one, and this one actually was a little bit easier to pick between the 2 because we were very impressed by the second match, the New Japan offering.
Oh my god, that was crazy. I love when like they just stand there and like delivering chop after chop.
now, folks who don't know the inside stuff, Kenta almost got a concussion in this match. He was actually pretty banged up at the end of this match. Ishii put in doesn't it seem like Ishii always puts in a giant, when he needs to step up, he puts a mind-blowing, extremely physical match out there. That's just...
Yeah, I love this. I love his matches. His matches are great.
They're just such a sight to behold, and you wonder, how does a guy live after this? I mean, he's doing some crazy crap. But then, I mean, he's built like a bulldog. He really looks like his build is...
The stone pitbull.
Yeah, talk about appropriate name, because, folks, this kind of building really is what... it's his body shape, I think, that really helps him absorb as much power. Like, Japanese strong fighting is already crazy to begin with. Now, I don't want to discount Teddy Hart versus Austin Aries. A very exciting match with a very kind of scary ending at the end. But the sheer force and brutality of Ishii and Kenta definitely puts this one into the next round. All right.
I mean, we even talked about it on a previous episode. They didn't do a bad job for MLW's first pay-per-view.
Yes. Yeah, let's face it. That was a pretty good one. Although I gotta have to say, the main event for me was probably the biggest letdown of that. But we'll get that to another time. Okay, we'll talk about that down the road.
All right.
Let's go into the third matchup in the first round.
Alright, so next we have Cody versus Dustin Rhodes from AEW Double or Nothing, and Lucha Brothers versus LAX from Impact Wrestling for the Impact Tag Team Championships.
Now, two very interesting matches, very contrastingly different. LAX versus the Lucha Brothers. There were things in the... I always tell Elliot, when I manage to see a match where I see something that I've never seen before, I get excited because I have seen... Oh my God. It's a waste of my life about how much wrestling I've watched in my life, okay? I mean, I could have been inventing stuff to cure diseases. No, I'm watching two sweaty guys in underwear grapple each other. But anyhow.
Well, we can't it can't be too much of a waste. We're here doing this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all homoeroticism aside, and hey, if that's your thing, whatever, it's not mine. But all of that aside, when I can see something that makes me go, holy crap, that was pretty cool, I like that. And the Lucha Brothers and LAX had, oh, wow. Talk about a style mesh that worked really well. This match was exciting. And hey, let's face it, this wasn't even a pay-per-view. This was off a regular weekly show from Impact. A show that's been so bad this year that we actually dropped it from our...
Yeah, this was before it started getting weird.
Yeah. And great match. Really interesting, but... AEW's first big match of Cody versus Dustin, brother against brother, was a match that delivered so much with storyline and solid wrestling. I mean, it wasn't great wrestling. There wasn't tons of memorable things, but what you did remember was the entire story being told in this match. And it got you. It pulled you by your heartstrings. And a lot of matches don't seem to have that anymore. In this day and age where we have WWE cranking out a new feud every 4 weeks, to get a really good story that grips you and makes you feel something, that's incredible. And that's why we picked Cody and Dustin to win this round and head into our semifinal round.
And then we have Joe Coffey versus Dave Mastiff, last man standing match from NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff, and Kota Ibushi versus Will Ospreay from Wrestle Kingdom 13.
Wow. Talk about two very different matches.
Yeah.
Now, and look at the way we looked at this. Going into this, Kota Ibushi versus Will Ospreay, I mean, that's got money written on it right there. Okay? Mm-hmm. That you knew, I mean, it would be pretty hard for those two, the way they're wrestling now, to give us a crap performance. They gave us a very exciting match. However, if you had told me and Elio a year ago that Dave Mastiff and Joe Coffey would put on a match that both of us would change our perspective, which had been rather negative of these two, to change our perspective, we would have laughed at you. And you know what, folks?
Yeah.
We were wrong because, man, Mastiff and Coffey won our respect, and they really put a great match. And this match was so surprising, so hard-hitting, so good for not being a strong-style Japanese match. This one definitely had to go into the next round. So, sorry, Ibushi and Ospreay seemed like it should have been an easy one, but Coffey and Mastiff really brought it home. Elio? This was an exciting... Now, that leaves us 4 matches to the semifinals. Tell the fans right now, let's announce what are the next matchups here.
Alright, so next matchups we have our Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay, and Cody versus Dustin Rhodes, Austin Aries versus Teddy Hart, and Joe Coffey versus Dave Mastiff.
Wow. This is going to come down to some interesting stuff. And already... If you notice, and this was not by design, folks, we have 4 different companies being represented here in our semifinals. Talk about a solid year of wrestling. So, folks, we want to know what you thought of the picks that we picked. Maybe you don't agree with them. Maybe you do. Take that time. Send us a comment. Tell us what you think. We're going to go into a little bit of New Japan really quickly, and then we're going to switch over and take a break. But in New Japan, my friend, finally... Yes. The World Tag League is finished. Okay?
Yes.
There is a winner.
Finjuice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And here's the thing, folks. The winner of this tournament gets to challenge the tag team champions at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep.
Now, I know for a fact, me and Elio would be the biggest freaking liars if either of us told you we thought Finjuice was going to win this.
I did not think they were going to win this.
I thought they would be in the middle of the pack at best.
Yeah. I did not expect them to win the entire World Tag League.
And unfortunately, as fans of New Japan, as me and Leo are, one thing we are going to have to admit, fans, is except for like this tournament and the occasional big event, the World Tag Team Championship, the IWGP Championship for the heavyweights, is treated really poorly. You rarely see this belt defended. I don't know the last time God actually put their belts up against anybody. So it's kind of like, it's like saying you're the, I don't know. It's I'm trying not to be like saying anything too offensive here, but it's like saying that you're like the smartest guy in a class full of dummies. Okay, it's it really doesn't equal a lot, unfortunately, and I wish it did. FinJuice, yeah, they had this great tournament, and let's face it, folks. As much as me and Elio love watching New Japan and covering it, this was a freaking chore. Okay.
It was.
The matches were all over the place. They were in big arenas to tiny little dinky venues. There were matches where they were only in Japanese, but then there were matches that didn't even have a commentary, where you just sat there.
Yeah, I had to do my own comment. I had to do my own commentary.
Yes, and you know what, folks?
We're not releasing those.
We are going to release it if 100 of you fans. If just 100 of you write in and say, we want to hear Elio's commentary from the World Tag League, we will post that up. But we need at least 100 of you. And that doesn't mean the same person, Matt Novak, I don't need you like putting your name under 30 times to try and get this on there. We need 100 people, okay? Okay. Sorry, I'm still bitter about last week's comment, Matt. Anyhow. So yeah. But you know what we should actually do is we're getting really close to Wrestle Kingdom. And
yeah, we are.
Let's call up the card here and take a look. We can make some really quick predictions of some of the matches. Okay. I mean, not all the matches. Some of these matches are throwaway matches, just like anything else.
This one is going to be really interesting. I mean, it's not just one night. It's over the course of 2 nights.
It's over the course of 2 nights, yeah. And I find very strange is that the world that doesn't make sense to me. In our culture we do it the other way. I mean, as North Americans we would have the minor belt the first night, the second. But anyways, let's go over really quickly the card. January 4th. Okay, we do know so far that Los Ignobles de Japón team of Bushi, Shingo Takagi, Evil, and Sonata.
Yep.
Will be taking on Suzuki Guns, El Desperado, Tai Chi, Minoru Suzuki, and Zack Sabre Jr. That, my friends, is what you call a throwaway match on a big card. Who's going to win? Well, it doesn't really matter. Next. Chaos, Yoshihashi, Toru Yano, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroki Goto taking on Bullet Club's Kenta, Chase Owens, Yujiro Takahashi, and Bad Luck Fale. Who's going to win? Doesn't really matter. It's yet another throwaway 8-man match. Now, only because of the historics behind this match, I'm sure, is going to be absolute crap. But it's one of the last matches, or I think it actually is. No, it's the second last match of Juice and Thunder Liger. Now,
it's second.
It'll be the team of Tatsumi Fujinami, who hasn't wrestled probably in the last 15 years. The Great Suzuki, who hasn't wrestled at least in 10 years. And Tiger Mask teaming with Juice and Thunder Liger to take on the team of Nao Sano, who hasn't wrestled in about 10 years, Shinjiro Otani, same, Tehudo Takawa, and our good friend, the ass master himself, Rizuchi Tagachi. Now,
you know what? I don't recognize. I only recognize 2 of the names.
You don't remember the Great Suzuki was also in WWE. Tatsumi Fujinami was like the AWA World Champion back in the day. Tiger Mask, you obviously know. Come on, man, don't shit the bed.
No, I don't know. No, I'm saying I just meant on that other side.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you meant all together. Yeah. I was like, really? You don't recognize these names?
No, I'm saying on that other side. I only recognize Otani and Taguchi.
Yeah, you know what? There's like this is a lot of old men. Okay. I'm sure if we added up the ages of all these guys, it would be like 900 or something like that. There's a lot of old dudes in this match. Okay. So Liger is over 50, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be taking it, slowing it down. So All right, next, the IWGP Tag Team Champions, the Gorillas of Destiny, putting up against our World Tag winners, FinJuice. Interesting match. I'm going to pick FinJuice to win.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with FinJuice because GOD's held the titles for a while, and FinJuice, we didn't expect him to win the World Tag League, yet they did.
I don't understand how Juice Robinson is so damn popular. I mean, I don't mind him, but the Japanese freaking love this guy. All right, here's an interesting match. Texas Deathmatch Rules. IWGP United States Championship. Lance Archer against Jon Moxley.
Wow.
Who you picking here, bro?
I'm gonna go with Archer.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? So am I. I think there's just a little bit too much political stuff with AEW to let Moxley actually win this belt.
Yeah.
But wait, no, you know what? I'm going to screw that. Chris Jericho won the belt and didn't defend it once for 6 months. So I'm going to pick Jon Moxley. Why not?
Okay. I'm still sticking with Archer.
Sounds good. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Will Ospreay, probably one of the most dynamic wrestlers out there, taking on the returning Hiromu Takahashi, the guy who almost broke his neck last year in a terrible match. Do you even remember Takahashi, or is it not really on your radar?
I don't recall. I don't recall him that well.
He was the dude who ran out and he had this like stuffed cat all the time called Daryl. And he was always getting his inspiration from the stuffed cat. And he was like always dressed really crazy, and he was like a maniac. He did this move.
Oh wait, now that you mention, I do recall him now. Yeah, now that you mentioned the cat.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick Takahashi because it would be just a nice comeback story. And I think Will Ospreay needs to be bumped up to heavyweight.
I was just about to say that. I'm going with Takahashi on that one.
All right, next for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, Jay White. Switchblade, putting his belt up against Tetsuya Naito. Who you picking here, buddy?
Oh, jeez. I'm going with White.
White? All right. I'm going to pick Naito. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to play devil's advocate. Today I'm picking Naito.
Okay.
And in the main event, IWGP Championship, Kazuchika Okada versus Kota Ibushi. Who you looking at here, man?
I'm sticking with Okada.
Ooh. I'm going to go Ibushi. I think Ibushi has been around. You know, you look at the guy and he looks like he's 22. He's in his 30s. Yep. He has been around for a long time. I think he's due for this belt. He's an incredible performer, and I think, Okada's one of those guys, whether he wins or loses, he's Okada. He's one of the best damn wrestlers in the world. So, I'm going to go with Ibushi. All right.
Okay.
Next we have, the next night, January 5th, we have finally Jushin Liger's retirement match. He will be teaming with Naoki Sano against Dragon Lee and Hiromu Takahashi.
Is that Dragon Lee? Oh, wow, it is Dragon Lee. Okay, because they have another...
Yeah, they have him as Ryu Lee, but he was also known as Dragon Lee.
Okay.
We're not even gonna pick this match. I mean, come on, it's Liger's retirement match.
Yeah,
as if he's gonna lose. It's not like Vince McMahon who's gonna make crap all over his his legacy. So next we have IWP Junior Champion Tag Team Champions Roppongi 3K Shonyo taking on El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori. Oh, man. I don't think Sho and Yo ever actually win any of their defenses, so I'm going to go El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori.
They're the champions, aren't they?
Yes. No, right?
Okay, I'm going... Yeah, they are the champions, because I have the little C in brackets next to them.
So who are you picking?
I'm going with the Bullet Club, Ishimori and
Revolution
Phantasmo.
Pro British Heavyweight Champion Zack Sabre Jr. putting his belt up against Sonata.
As much as I don't like him, I'm going to go with Sabre Jr.
I'm going to go with Sonata here. Japanese wrestlers have not had that hard of a time winning this belt. I'm pretty sure Evil's held it. I know Suzuki has held it. I think Sonata. I'm picking Sonata on this one. Now, this one we won't really be able to tell because, the the United States champion, whether it be Jon Moxley, whether it be Lance Archer, will take on Juice Robinson. Interesting match. We can't really call that since we don't know who it's going to be. Never Openweight champion Kenta taking on Hiroyoko Goto. Who you picking here?
Kenta.
You're picking Kenta? I'm taking Goto. I think He has been the bridesmaid for far too long. Maybe it's finally time he wins a belt here. I'm going to go with Goto.
Okay.
Now, of course, we can't pick this match because the loser of the Okada versus Ibushi match takes on the loser of White versus Naito, so who knows? Wow, they wrote that so dumbly because now it says IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions Ishimori and El Phantasmo taking on Roppongi 3K. We already talked about that earlier on, and because it was written like that, I assumed that Sho and Yo, I guess Phantasmo and Tajiri are still the match. Yeah, who cares? Next. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho.
What am I going to pick on this one, dude? Oh, screw it.
Tanahashi always banged up?
He's always banged up for the last 4 years.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna
go with Tanahashi, and I don't know why. I can't even give you a reason, buddy. And then finally, which I guess makes kind of sense. This is kind of cool. The IWGP champion, whether it be Ibushi or Okada, will take on the Intercontinental champion, which will either be Naito or White. Title versus title match. Okay. So that will be exciting. Right. Now, the only other note is they always have the next day a thing called New Year's Dash. And New Year's Dash starts all the New Year programs. This year, they are not announcing any of the matches. You won't know until the day you show up what the matches are going to be.
Oh,
talk about ballsy, eh?
It's like Christmas on New Year's.
You know what else? You know what else is like Christmas on New Year's, buddy? And I'll tell you, this doesn't suck like Tony Diaz. It's time for us to take a break, and we're going to actually suck back a few beers. We're going to take our breath. Elio's going to hopefully get... You ever see that scene of Pulp Fiction where that chick did so much drugs they had to put that like adrenaline in her heart? Well,
sure.
Yeah. Elio's been drinking so much that somebody's going to put some adrenaline into his liver. And hopefully, he'll be able to do the second half of this show. So, folks, we'll catch you guys on the flip side. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello, this is Miguel Cole from the Wrestling POV podcast. Wrestling POV and Wrestling POV Global is affiliated with the Collar and Elbow brand. Go to collarandelbowbrand.com and save yourself 10% by using promo code WPOV. Collar and Elbow has t-shirts, hoodies, sunglasses, and more. And the best part, you're helping out your local indie wrestlers. And you're helping out the best wrestling podcast of all, Wrestling POV and Wrestling POV Global. You don't want to miss out. So save yourself 10% by using promo code WPOV. Oh my goodness!
This is Flip Gordon, and you are listening to Wrestling POV Podcast.
Hey, folks, we're back. You know what, Elio?
What's that?
I am so glad that the adrenaline in your liver worked. You will live another day, maybe another episode.
I will live another day. I'm immortal. I'll live forever.
I was thinking we should raise a toast, but isn't that the shit that got you here in the first place? Was drinking so much booze? Anyhow, do you know what else I got? Okay, I got to say this. I'm very proud of the fact that we're on this great network. We have this other sister show. Wrestling POV. It's fun, Yeah, sure. Okay, admittedly, Tony Diaz does suck, but he's got the great Mimi Goody with him. He's got Rick Serrano III, and he even has an evil sock puppet in there. So, you know what? I guess even if you suck that hard, Tony, you can get a good show going. But the fans love it. We love it. And, folks, if you want to listen to a fun show that is more WWE centric, because that's what they cover. We cover the stuff that's not WWE. They're in there covering WWE. They're on every Saturday on this same great network. And you can find them, if you just want to look for them, on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Podbean. Oh my God, I remembered it all. Wow, yep. Okay. I was going to say MySpace, but I don't think that's around anymore. Can you see them on Snapchat? I don't know.
It's possible. Nah,
it's possible.
That would be too many snaps.
Yeah, and plus Tony sucks so much that it would be a tough one. Anyways, let's move it on. Let's get into this week's wrestling. We always cover these 3 shows and we talk about them and rate them.
Yep.
We're going to start off our journey in England. We're going to be at WWE NXT UK. All right?
All right. Okay.
Now, looking at this show, buddy, what was your best point? What was, first of all, let's start. What sucked on this week's episode for you? What did you not care for very much?
I had Jordan Devlin versus A-Kid and Joseph Connors versus Ligero versus Travis Banks.
Oh my God, Joseph Connors makes me want to sleep. And Jordan Devlin.
I cannot stand Joseph Connors. I just, you know what? He might end up in the book next episode.
Yeah, I gotta admit, Joseph Connors sucks. And Jordan Devlin kind of sucks. For a guy with talent,
Yeah.
he sucks the life out of the room.
Yep.
And I'm not sold on A-Kid either.
No.
I just don't get him. I don't get him, okay? I think for me, one of the things that I thought kind of sucked is I kind of don't like the portrayal, the way that Tony Storm's acting right now. It seems wrong to me. It seems in my mind that Piper Niven should be the more bitchy one and Tony should be the more fan favorite one. But I guess they're pushing, Piper Niven being a spokesperson for, larger plus size models and people. So I get that, but Tony Storm just doesn't feel right as a heelish type person to me.
Actually, you know what? In that whole scenario, during that match, Tony Storm and Killer Kelly, at the end, I pictured Xia Brookside because follow this, Kaylee Ray attacks Xia Brookside from behind, then Piper Niven comes out and Xia Brookside says that she doesn't need Piper Niven coming out to help. That's a callback to when Piper left her laying in the ring to take the fall in that tag team match.
Okay, that's really good too. And I guess it's a little convoluted that there is back history with Tony Storm and Kaylee Ray.
Yep.
I want to like Kaylee Ray, like I want to like her, but she just doesn't do it for me as a tough bad guy woman.
I don't know. Maybe we need to give her more time. I mean, she had that one match with Tegan Knox, but one match doesn't necessarily make one good.
And what's with that goofy ass thing she does? Where it looks like she's trying to fly like a. I don't get it. It's just stupid. Okay, what did you like about this week's show?
Okay, so I had that match with Storm and Killer Kelly, and I also have the Hunt and the Outliers or whatever they would call themselves.
Isn't it crazy how the Hunt's actually kind of fun?
Yeah.
Like we used to hate these guys.
It wasn't too long ago we were calling them cartoon characters.
Yeah, no, they kind of bring me around.
They took a beating in this match too.
Now, there is one thing I didn't like about this week's episode that I forgot to mention.
What's up?
And that is the very end of the Gallus Imperium thing, where they just let Dragunov hung him out to dry. Just when I thought I could get behind Gallus a bit, this kind of shit makes you go, I hope Imperium beats their ass now. Because let's face it, Dragunov's the only good guy in this whole mess.
Yeah. but then the cool thing is it set up matches down the road. We don't have to wait for the announcements because they've already set up the matches.
I know, but it was incredibly uncool of them to just leave Dragunov to get his ass kicked by all of Imperium.
And that was just what we were saying, how Piper Niven left inside Brookside to get her ass kicked by Shinny and Jazzy Gabber.
Yeah, and hey, I want to throw out, I know it sounded like I've been a little tough on her, but I kind of actually dug Killer Kelly this week. Okay. She impressed me a little bit more than I've seen her. She had a lot of presence in this match, even though it wasn't a very long match. For what she did do in there was interesting enough that I thought, okay, she just couldn't stop the tidal wave that is Tony Storm.
Right.
Now, with this, how are you going to rate this week's match, Elio? I know what I have in my mind right now. And
I'm going to go with a B on this one.
I think you're being generous, buddy. I'm going to go with a C+. I think there was just a few. It was maybe let's say B-, because it was just as many good things as there were. There was also just as many bad things.
Yeah.
And for me, that just made it kind of an uneven show. So I'm going to give it that kind of mid thing. It was kind of at a midpoint. So we'll go B- for me.
Okay.
All right. Next, we're going to turn our attention to MLW Fusion.
Oh boy.
You know what? I am struggling a little bit with Fusion right now because I used to love Fusion so much.
Yep.
And we have been getting an awful lot of crap lately. And, okay, first of all, this is the first time that I can remember in in a big show, and I mean, I'm not talking like independent, low-level live shows. This is the first time in a long time that I've seen a battle royal that be this boring and unexciting.
Oh, that was terrible. And I can't believe Barrington Hughes was in there too.
You have to believe that you have to put the fattest, biggest dude in there so he can get eliminated by everybody in the beginning. That's battle royal booking 101.
No, we didn't know that he'd get eliminated first, did we? Jeez.
This Gorgon guy is terrible. Yeah, he's
What's his name? I'm sorry, what's his name?
Gorgon? Is that a cheese? Oh no, that's Gorgonzola. He stinks like cheese.
I don't like this guy already.
Oh man, when the only person that stands out is because he's dressed so stupidly is Dominic Guarini, you know this is going to be a shit match, right?
Yep.
Like, man, like I said, battle royals tend to be like fun. I mean, that's the point of them, right? But
Sure.
This was not fun.
Oh, this is terrible.
It was just not a very good match. But you know what?
As soon as I saw this match, I'm like, okay, this is I already have my little light for this show.
Well, you know, yeah, but then you could say that, but then the swamp fight came up, and that was even worse.
Yeah.
Like seriously, what the hell was that? It was so terrible.
But I thought Mance Warner was done with Jimmy Havoc. I thought this was done, yet there was supposed to be a Taipei death match, which I even asked you before we went on the air. I'm like, did I miss something? Because I thought that match was supposed to take place.
It was, but there was an incident that happened in the back, so they canceled that match. That's what happened. Okay, that was that was the reasoning. Now, I remember when we saw, wasn't it like Hio de Los Angeles Park taking on, who the hell did he fight in that street fight? Was that Vance? Was that Vance? In the Tijuana street fight?
No, wasn't it? That was Mance Warner. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And now we saw that Tijuana street fight, and they had it out in an alley, and it was actually kind of cool and fun, right?
Yeah.
I think they tried to see how far they could go with it, but I don't get why in the hell you'd have a swamp fight. These two idiots were fighting in the woods. It was stupid.
You know what?
What?
And they said that these two have been feuding for a while. Where? I haven't heard any of this.
Yeah, they've been feuding for a while. As far as I remember, Savio Vega was injured because of Hammerstone. Leo Bryan, we haven't seen that dude for months. So how are they feuding?
Right?
Were they sending each other bad texts? Is it Snapchat with the middle finger and savio the occasional dick pic? I don't know.
Maybe it was a Twitter war.
You know what? I don't think Leo Bryan's smart enough to use Twitter. Okay? And Savio Vega's an old man. He ain't using no Twitter. Trust me, okay? Terrible idea. Terrible match.
Yep.
I by this point of the show, dude, I am getting very sad. Because I know there's still more wrestling to come, and I'm thinking this is going... I gotta say, though, the main event, I didn't mind so much. David Boy Smith Jr.
That one I put in as my highlight.
Yeah, it definitely was. And Brian Pillman taking on Akira Kwan and Simon Gotch. When we're looking at our lowlights, I mean, I thought the Battle Royal was bad, but the Swamp fight was absolute crap. You got another one that goes... What is it?
Tom Waller via satellite.
Oh, that was bad and painful. That was painful. But it was nowhere as bad as the Swamp fight, but it was pretty freaking bad. Yeah. Yep. At least Akira Kwan and Simon Gotch versus Contra versus Hart Foundation at least somewhat took a little bit of stink out of the skunk, I'm going to say. Okay, it was a good match. I mean, Brian Pillman is looking better and better each week. He's really improving. And Davey Boy, man, Davey Boy is the bomb. That guy can wrestle. Holy crap.
Yep.
I like Akira Kwan for his unique style. Not sure I like Simon Gotch so much. Not sure what it is about him. Can't stand him. But
plus Akira Kwan, friend of the show.
Friend of the show, that's right. You know, and I'm not saying that I like his style because he was on the show. He does actually watch him. He brings a little something different to Contra. All in all, though, the Swamp match, Tom Lawler, and the Battle Royal, it puts it at a C- for me. This was not a
you know
great
what?
show.
I was just about to say that I'm giving this one a C-.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't an F. It was, at least the last match had some decency to it, but a lot of crap. And let's face it, I don't know how many times me and Elio have said this, but Mats, just drop this crap with Jimmy Havoc. This is just bullshit. We don't want to see it anymore.
I've never even heard of a Taipei deathmatch till they described it. Both guys put their hands in glue, then covered with glass or something.
You've never heard of this before?
No, actually, I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna drop some wrestling knowledge on you.
Okay.
Originally, this was seen in the movie Bloodsport. Okay.
Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay. I just didn't know that was what it was.
No, sorry, not Bloodsport. The other one, Kickboxer, I think it was.
Kickboxer.
The one that,
okay.
Yeah, that they had that match in there, and then ECW actually had Ian and Axel Rotten fight each other in a Taipei death match where they did exactly that. So there is a match like that's out there.
Oh, now that you mentioned Kickboxer, now I remember. Yeah, I just didn't know that was what it was called.
Yeah, that was the Taipei death match. So, and like I said, ECW fans, you can look back probably on the network and even find this. Ian and Axel Rotten fighting each other in a Taipei death match. It was disgusting. Okay. All right. And now we get to the last show we're going to look at today. AEW.
Oh boy.
Okay. At least, my God, you know what? After seeing MLW this week and even having an off night for UK, at least AEW wasn't shitting the pot. I mean, at least it wasn't too. It wasn't the greatest, but at least it wasn't.
But it was somewhat better. It was somewhat better than the. Yep.
Things that stuck out for me. Let's see. I'm going to give a quick commentary here, okay? When I go over this. Moxley versus Reynolds, definitely a squash, which is too bad because Reynolds and his partner are actually a pretty damn decent tag team who haven't really been given any kind of showing. You know?
So is that your highlight or your low light?
No, I'm just going to quickly give you my. You can give the highlights. Okay, I'm just going to go quickly through this and tell you what things stuck out of my mind. Okay.
Okay.
The whole Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny thing. Well, Cody and QT Marshall, he hasn't really been wrestling a lot, and you can kind of see a lot of the hesitation in his moves. I don't know if you noticed that. It was like he'd always stop before he did his move and do it.
Yeah.
But props to him for trying. The match came off pretty uneven. And is it just me, or does that Darby Allin look like he could be like Cody's little brother? Okay?
He does look a little like him.
As for Butcher, the Blade, and they're okay. They're a lot better than I thought they would be, to be honest. So, we got this weird vignette where Alex Reynolds, who got killed by Moxley in the beginning, is sitting there and he's watching television, and they have this weird little Dark Order thing. Yeah. This is the only thing that makes the Dark Order cool lately. These weird vignettes are kind of working.
I was about to say that. I really like that. It was cool. It was just creepy, and I really liked that one.
Yeah, it was good. I don't understand why a girl would call herself the Big Swole.
Big Swole. She was in the WWE.
Yeah, she still sucks. Like, the name sucks. I mean, she's okay. But the name, the Big Swole?
Yeah.
And Emmy...
But this was a good match. I thought it was a good match. It wasn't bad.
It was okay. Emi Sakura is just ridiculous looking doing this Freddie Mercury stuff. I'm not sure what the point of that is.
I just don't get it.
Pac just came off as kind of a douche.
Yep.
Kip Saban. This was a weird match. Saban and Spears taking on Page and Omega. And there's lots of weird stuff going on in here, You have Sean Spears being taken out of the match because Tully Blanchard, his manager, gets captured by Joey Janela, and this whole situation is weird because I don't know if you guys know this, but like Kip Saban is like dating Penelope Ford, okay, but she had been with Joey Janela for years.
Oh wow!
On all his shows, and so this is like a weird that he was the one in the situation. Then you have Adam Page wrestling like really, really crisp. Kenny Omega doing a lot of goofy shit. But it ends with Paige kind of being a douche there and taking the blind tag like bad guys do and taking the pin.
Yep.
So, obviously that's going to be a setup down the road for Paige turning on Omega. I can see that coming.
What is this Brandy Rhodes, the Nightmare Collection? We seen the promo from her.
Oh, you know what it is? It's called a waste of our fucking time. Bullshit. Who cares? It is such garbage. I mean, I gotta admit, Brandy Rhodes is pretty hot. She dresses really hot. But man, she is a terrible actress, and this is a terrible gimmick.
This is a Straight Edge Society 2.0.
It's just crap. It's just crap.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. And then Sammy Guevara versus Luchasaurus. Well, I think it's interesting. Luchasaurus kind of makes me laugh. I kind of enjoy him. I still wish they...
I did not expect that voice from that
last week. Yeah. I still can't stand Marco Stunt. I know you love him. I know he's your spirit animal or your soulmate, Elio, but Marco Stunt's got to go, dude. What? I'm not sure that I'm not mistaken. What's going on here?
All right. I'm sure you're mistaken about that, though.
The main event. The main event is what you call like a 100-mile-an-hour car wreck going on. The Young Bucks versus Santana and Ortiz in a Texas street fight with the winning team going on next week to challenge SCU. There was so much junk. Okay, I'm glad we don't do play-by-plays, like exacting. Because, man, there's so much crap going on in Young Bucks matches. You just can't keep track of it. It was an okay match, I guess. It was fun in some parts. It was ridiculously stupid in others. I'm not calling them young and proud or whatever. Strong and proud or whatever. They're just going to be Santana. Whatever. Santana and Ortiz is about the only cool thing you can get out of what they're trying to call them.
You know what? I'm just going to call them by their names. That's it. Because that name they have is just stupid.
Now, I am going to say, after all of this, I'm going to give this week's episode a B. Okay? It was just a little bit better than UK. There's still some problems with it. Like the MJF stuff was okay. The Brandy Rhodes stuff was definitely a low light for me. How about you? What was your low light for this, man?
For me, the low light was Brandy Rhodes and the Omega Page match. Luchasaurus, Cody, and QT Marshall.
Okay. Brandy Rhodes has become to me like so those shows when you're a kid where there's like some super hot actress, but you just turn off the sound and watch her.
Are you talking about Elvira?
No. I'm talking like any shows your sister might have liked, like some crappy made like Friends or something, where you just turn it off and watch Jennifer Aniston. It's just she's like awesomely beautiful, but man, she is crap. And I don't want to hear her horrible acting because it just takes away from her looks.
No, terrible.
Just terrible. Highlight of the night. Wow. Pass? You got a highlight of the night? I mean, it was all okay.
That Dark Order vignette. There's something wrong. There's something wrong when you put Dark Order in your highlight of the night. What's going on?
You're not doing the best when the highlight of the night is the Dark Order, the 2-hour television show. You're right. Let's give it to that. We haven't watched NXT yet, obviously. Mm-hmm. We're in a week 11 here, and I gotta say, AEW is doing pretty shitty here.
They are.
They are not winning this war. And the funny part is online fans who say, hey, you know what? NXT is only winning because they have to load up people from the main roster. Yeah? Isn't AEW the guys who are going to take on the world? Weren't they going to change everything?
Before we went on the air, I was reading some comments about AEW. Uh-huh. Someone said, AEW is full of wrestlers who used to be choppers in WWE. Look, Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's just.
I'm reading. Yeah.
It's not.
Are you serious?
It's not distinguishing itself as a viable brand. It's basically looking like a hopped up indie.
Yep, they were calling guys like John Moxley, Dustin Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, choppers in the WWE.
The only legitimate wrestler right now that I see, like for a big name, is John Moxley. He's the only guy who delivers right now. Everyone else, they're there. I'm a big Kenny Omega fan, so this makes me like it really surprises me how poorly he's been portrayed since AEW.
I kind of want to go back and watch AEW Dark just to see the matches, what matches took place on there.
Yeah, not me. I'm not watching Dark. It's crap.
No, I said I almost. I didn't say.
Oh, okay. I thought now, I'm going to give it a B because I said it wasn't as bad as the other ones, and I'm thinking you're probably thinking around the same. So
yeah, I'm going to give it a B as well.
All right. Well, that gives us 2 points this week to AEW, 1 point to WWE, NXT UK, and 0 points this week to MLW. Plug them into our rating system this week and tell me what the standings are.
So let me do that right now. We have AEW with 2 points.
Okay, yeah, but...
I'm going to give you the total. Okay, so that puts NXT UK at 27.
That's what the 1 point
MLW at 14 and AEW at 12.
Wow, AEW is making some... Wow. Ugh. This is a little bit of a tough one here. Okay.
NXT UK is having a good year.
Yeah, they're probably right now. It seems like the 3 shows, the one that's the most enjoyable.
Yeah.
Now you know what? Talk about enjoyable. We've talked about the 200th episode coming up of Wrestling POV. Mm-hmm. We've talked about how much Tony Diaz sucks. We haven't talked about the POV
pay-per-view points game.
How come I screw up with all these P's? Yes, the points game. Let's talk about the points game. Now, folks, this is held at the major pay-per-views. All the matches, there will be a card sent out by POV on our site. It'll give you the breakdown of who's fighting and who you're bidding on for your points. Now, it's like a bid. You go in and say you bid 2 points for so-and-so to win. And if so-and-so wins, you win 2 points. If so-and-so loses and you've bid 2 points, you lose 2 points from your total, and you could be going into the negative. So it's all strategy. Or, if you're willing to cheat like Elio with that stupid puppet, I guess you could do that.
I'm sure you're mistaken, sir.
Now, how do you play the game? Simple. You like the page. That's very important. You got to like the page. Then, you take a look at your lineup, and then Sunday afternoon is your deadline before the pay-per-view starts. You send those in to Wrestling POV. You tell them your picks, your points, how the matches are won, and then at the end they will calculate it all. There will be 3 champions. There will be the big champion. What do they call him? The
WPOV champion.
Right. Then there's like what are the other 2 called?
Then there's the interstate champion and the overseas champion.
Yeah, and so you've got like first, second, and third place, and then if you're not willing to cheat like Elio did, you could end up easily becoming...
Again, you're mistaken.
You could win the Rick Serrano the Turd Award. Now, we all know Tony...
An award that I barely escaped once.
Well, you know what? We all know Tony sucks, but did you know that Rick Serrano actually pooped into a gold-making machine and produced the Turd Award? How he got it to coil like that, I'll never know. I gotta admit, as much as I am disgusted, I'm kind of also impressed. You don't want to win that, dude. Okay, people? You want to win this match. You want to be the points champion. You want to be maybe the interstate champion, maybe the overseas champion. You do not want to win the turd champion. So please, if you're going to play this game and it's fun, I say you got to look at it and you got to play strategically. Think of your points.
I won't tell you how many championships I won.
I don't want to hear it because you cheated through most of them. I have been the only person with dignity to play this game. No, I can barely figure it out, but that's only because I'm dumb. Anyhow, by all means, fans, participate in this. Now, you know what? Perhaps there's some ideas you want to get to us. You want to write us. Maybe you want to tell us how you think that I am a misunderstood tragic hero of this story. Or maybe you want to talk about how much Elio drinks and he needs help. Or maybe you just want to tell everyone you know that Tony Diaz sucks. We get that. How do you do it? Well, you can get a hold of us on Facebook, on our WPOV podcast, right? Wrestling Podcast,
WPOV Wrestling Podcast.
Instagram, we're WPOV1. Is that
Wrestling POV1?
Man, I'm never going to get this.
And Twitter at Wrestling POV.
All right. Fine. You heard what Elio said. Folks, 200th episode coming up. I got to tell you, they've got some wacky stuff planned. They've got like I think they said they had a former Universal Champion is going to make a thing. There's one of the commentators. Did you have the list of stuff? It was so overwhelming how cool and how many cool things they were having. I want to promote this, but I want to say it right because let's face it, a lot of work went into these 200 episodes.
Let's see what they exactly have because they put up a post on the Facebook page. They also had people. So let's see. It's a former Universal Champion, and we have. I believe there was a Hall of Famer as well, and there's also a current champion.
Oh wow! Huh? That's gonna be interesting. So, folks, definitely tune in. Okay. Write us. We'd like to hear.
Oh yeah, here it is.
Oh, sorry. You've got the list.
Here's a list. It's a WWE Hall of Famer, a multi-time Intercontinental Champion, a multi-time Tag Team Champion, King of the Ring, wrestled in numerous WrestleManias, one of the few men to beat The Undertaker.
Is it El Gigante? Anyhow, I think he's dead. No, it's not going to be El Gigante.
That was bad. Wow.
What? Everybody dies. Okay.
TJ went there.
Anyhow, folks. We had a great time talking some wrestling with you. You know what? We may not have 200 episodes, and I may not have a co-host that sucks as much as Tony Diaz does. But what we do have is an end of the year show coming up. Me and Elio are going to talk about the things that happened in this last year and some of the companies that we've seen, some of the trends, some of the things that have really stood out. We've seen some great wrestlers. Give you an example. I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking the shit out of Mance Warner because he's been a kind of a highlight. And, we're going to be shit talking some Jimmy Havoc because that guy's a piece of crap.
And they're both in the book.
Oh, they are too. And because of each other. Now, we're probably, we're even going to open up the book on our special thing, talk about some of the people, see if they deserve to still be in the book. And who knows, maybe even add somebody in. I was thinking of adding...
I might have someone to put in the book.
Oh, I think I know you do. We're going to find that out. But what else? I thought about this long and hard. And, Miguel Cole said maybe I should put Tony Diaz in just for his pure suckage. However, I'm going to say, Tony, there's 12 steps to get you out of suckage. And we're here. Me and Elio are here. We're praying for you. We're drinking lots of booze. We're thinking about you. We're not going to hold up signs that say Tony sucks.
We're sending prayers from Atlantis.
That's right. The prayers of Alanis Morissette hopefully will drop over you. And she's powerful, man. She makes Cardi B look like a slut. She's got the power to take away the suckage from you, Tony. You got to get it.
You know what? She did play God in the movie Dogma.
That's right. She's amazing. She is amazing. So, Tony, just even a bit of a rub off Alanis can take away that suckage. So... Fans, we love the fact you tuned in with us this week. We want to say a special hi to all of you, all across Canada, all across the United States, all across Mexico. We know we've got fans in Europe and Asia. We want to say hello to the fans in Australia, New Zealand, and of course, who's my weakness every week, buddy? Who am I always sending a shout out? That's right, a privyet to all my Russian friends out there. Guys, sorry you didn't make the Olympics, but hey, that's what you get for doping. Anyhow, see you guys next week. I've been your host, the legend T. James Logan, wishing you all a great night. Elio, say goodbye to the fine people. Please don't die.
All right, Fez, we will talk to you all next week.